the pufferfish has the incredible ability to inflate itself up like a balloon as a defense mechanism. But the interesting thing about this creature is that that's not the only thing interesting about it. If you're a fish, the easiest things to catch are the slow-moving citizens of the sea. But they usually have armor. The pufferfish knows the only way around that challenge is through, in life, death, and taxonomy. Welcome back to Life, Death, and Taxonomy. It's your 30 minutes of interesting animal information. I'm Joe.
And I'm Carlos.
Thank you to Cassie for the creation of our theme song. To hear more of Cassie's music, please search Cassie Michelle on YouTube.
And thank you to Johanna for the creation of this week's artwork. To check that out, you can visit us at our home on the web at ldtaxonomy.com. And a very special thank you to our patrons, to Jesse Raspolich, Carol Raspolich, Richard Kaspar, Lottie and Aubrey, Gray Hughes, and Wednesday Rabbit. Thank you so much for your support. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks for helping us keep the lights on.
And today we're talking about a puffy stabber. But more on that later.
Yeah. Like the penguin in Batman.
P. Diddy.
P. Diddy? Is he a puffy stabber?
Well, he was called Puffy at one point. Puff Daddy.
Oh, that's one of my nicknames.
Well, that's P. Diddy.
Well, now it's not. Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. Interesting. There's got to be like a school for naming for coming up with your rap name.
And I think coming up with the rap names requires you not to have gone to school.
It requires you to be young or little. Sorry, Lil. So so it's actually a truancy issue. You should be in school. Young Jeezy or Lil Wayne or whatever. Anyway, we are talking about the oceanic pufferfish, not a rapper. You don't want to put a rapper on this for reasons I will explain later. This is not something you want to rap and serve to someone. You may want to rap about it if you're feeling like called to do that, but you definitely don't want to wrap it as food for someone unless you know what you're doing. It's also called a blowfish, the blue blossoop, the oceanic blossoop, the oceanic puffer, pufferfish, rabbit puffer, swell toad, which I really liked, and toadfish. But I think
that's a swell toad.
Yeah, that is just a dynamite toad. Swell toad. I was gonna say, my other nicknames, was gonna include Puff Daddy, but that thunder was just absolutely snaked out of my pocket. We're gonna also call it here the Inflatable Hulk, and Bubble or Nothing.
That's pretty good.
Let's
bulk.
the Credible Hulk, who backs up his claims with sources and facts. Let's taxonomize this because we need to do at least one science every episode. The kingdom is one you know, love, and are in. That's Animalia. The phylum is Chordata. It's got a spine. The class is Actinopterygii, bony fish. The order is Tetradontiformes, which is just a order of ray-finned fish. The family is Tetradontidae. The genus is Lagocephalus, and the species is Lagocephalus. So much like a bison, it is Lagocephalus. I bet you're hoping that we're going to do nitty-gritty nomenclature, but we're not. It's time for my favorite part of the show, critter groups. Part of the show where I ask you, Joe, a question, and that question is the same every time. What is the name of a group of this animal, or what is the term of venery, or what is the collective noun? If you saw a group of pufferfish, would you call it A, an enchantment of pufferfish, B, a spike of pufferfish, C, a bloom of pufferfish, or D, a path of pufferfish?
Spike, bloom, path. What was the other one?
It's enchantment, spike, bloom, and path.
I'm going to say a spike of pufferfish. Final answer.
Incorrect. The answer is enchantment. Is an enchantment of pufferfish.
Well, that's nonsense.
They don't all have spikes. So
they're not enchanting. I'll tell you that.
Some of them are very colorful. They're reef fish. Some species are. Not this one. Not the oceanic pufferfish.
Enchantment under the sea dance.
Yeah. I did not look up what Lagocephalus means, but I can't imagine it means anything other than lake head. So
true. True.
You want a description of this boy? You want to hear what it looks like?
Sure.
So if you're thinking like the pufferfish from Finding Nemo, think again. It's not quite like that. That's a pretty quintessential pufferfish. This one's different. It is, it swims in the open ocean. It's pelagic. So it has the coloring of pelagic fish. It has a thin, silvery baitfish shape. So kind of like a thin tuna or like a mackerel. It has a silver belly. It's countershaded. Silver belly, blue top. That's the pelagic way. So that when things are looking down on you, your dark blue top blends you in, and when things are looking up, your silvery bottom blends you in with the surface. It has a gaping mouth, vacant expression, dead eyes. Typical fish stuff. The dorsal fin on this fish is all the way down near the tail, so it's parallel with the pelvic fin. So it just kind of looks like this sort of boomerang near the back. And like a meth-addled hillbilly, it only has a whopping 4 teeth. But these kind of look more like the 4 sides of a cootie catcher. So those 4 teeth do the job. They cover all the bases. They like to eat squid, so their faces are like sperm whales, often covered with the scars of their battles with squid, which is interesting. And they don't have any scales. They have like a mucus-covered skin. And this pufferfish is lined with spines. They're not as obvious as they are in the one you were probably thinking about when you clicked on an episode about a pufferfish, but they are small spines that are pretty well hidden until they are something causes them to poke out. And it has pretty tough skin. It has to, because it's planning on getting booped a lot. And it's actually a relatively big pufferfish. Usually when I think of a pufferfish, and I've caught several pufferfish in the intercoastal in Pompano Beach. If you go fishing off the bridge there, you're likely to find a bunch of pufferfish over near that like concrete wall that's always there. And they're usually pretty small. But this is a much bigger one, and as things that live in the open ocean tend to be. So how big is it, Joe?
That's a good question. Well, that brings us to the beloved Measure Up segment, the official listener's favorite part of the show. The part of the show when you present the animal size and dimensions in relatable terms through a quiz that's fun for the whole family. It's also a part of the show that's introduced by you when you send it out of yourself saying, singing, or tittering. The words measure up into ldtaxonomy@gmail.com. We don't have a new Measure Up intro this week, but that means we get to hear from an animal, and Carlos has to guess what it is. And also, if you want to vote for your favorite part of the show, do so by hitting us up on Patreon, becoming a patron for free, and telling us your favorite segment. Net gets you 2 votes. Reaching out in any other way, like via email, gets you 1. And you have 98 days.
Because we're doing this on the day of the presidential election in the U.S.
Oh, is that also what happened?
Is something happening near the end of November? Couldn't tell.
Yeah. But let's hear from an animal.
All right. I can think of one that I already mentioned. So let's see if it's that one. Unless there's probably a shark tail pufferfish character that I don't know because I never watched the movie.
Without further ado, the listener's favorite part of the show.
Can't hear you, Peach.
Yep.
I said we got a live one.
Yes.
What do we got?
Good old Brad Garrett.
Okay, it's Brad Garrett. Do you know the character's name? Did you say it already?
Bloat?
Bloat. How did you know that?
I've
I
seen
don't
Finding
think I
Nemo.
ever knew his name.
Probably Finding Nemo's not my favorite Pixar movie, but it is the one that I've seen the most. So
Me too. Because in math class, in geometry class, when I was in high school, we would all get into the classroom before our teacher, and every day somebody would wheel the TV, the AV unit, wheel the TV in front of the classroom and play Finding Nemo. And every once in a while, multiple times throughout the year, the teacher would just let us
watch the rest of
let
the
us
movie.
watch the whole thing. So I hated this with a fiery passion because it was lose-lose. He was either going to be mad that we did this, like that we started the whole thing with a distraction, or we would have to watch we would watch Finding Nemo again. So I was like, this is the worst.
It's
Whenever
a good
somebody
opportunity
started
to
doing this,
get
I would-
homework done, to doodle. I don't know what kids do at school these days. I loved movie days, even if there were movies I didn't want to watch. It was just like, it just means I don't have to pay attention for a little bit.
I mean, it's better than nothing. But I was also like a law-abiding citizen as a child. So when somebody would do something that I knew the teacher didn't want, it made me anxious.
It raised your hackles.
It raised my hackles. Yeah.
Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo is I have not. It's fine. It's great actually. I do like it. It's just not my favorite one. That honor goes to The Incredibles, and it cannot be removed. So, but it's up there.
Let's talk about their length. They're 61 centimeters or 24 inches. It's a nice amount of inches for this game. A pufferfish is the same length as a 1/16,000th a thundercloud, B, 1 pearl eraser. No, sorry, 11 pearl erasers. Or C, 1 chinchilla.
Including its tail.
I don't know.
That makes a difference because they have long.
Because they have really long tail. It might not be.
Well, they have a tail that's at least probably doubles their body length if you include it.
So if they're a foot long, if they have a foot long body, and a foot long
right now,
tail,
I'm pretty sure
inches.
that a chinchilla is not 2 feet long, but I'm pretty sure that a chinchilla with its tail is 2 feet long. I'm gonna go with chinchilla. Just
Final
do that.
answer.
Yep.
Correct answer is 1/16,000th a thundercloud.
Yeah, you did. You did go with the astronomical number, didn't you?
A regular cumulus cloud on a fine weather day is much smaller, but thunderclouds can be several kilometers, even up to 24 kilometers or 15 miles.
High or wide?
I think wide, long, wide. High though as well. I don't know if it's that long, but it's really high. It goes into multiple it's like cumulonimbus clouds. Like there's
Yeah.
they're in multiple atmospheric levels.
One job I would never want is having to like measure a cloud, like distinguish, because it is by definition nebulous. It's like it's constantly changing. Like you have a few seconds, and then that cloud's going to be a different cloud.
True.
So it's like, yeah, it's trying to catch smoke with your bare hands, that kind of thing.
Let's talk about their weight. 3.2 kilograms or 7 pounds. Is the pufferfish is the same weight as A, 1/214th the heaviest marshmallow ever, B, 56 dandelions, or C, 9 rabbit's feet? Did you ever see those?
I did
when movies a lot.
When I was in first and second grade.
Yeah.
My friends had
you
rabbit's
get it on
feet.
the keychain.
Mm-hmm. There were different colors.
I haven't seen that in a long time. Isn't that a weird thing?
I had a crocodile's foot or an alligator's foot on a as a necklace at that age, which I thought was way cooler than a rabbit's foot.
It is cooler, but it's not as nice to like rub for good luck.
That wasn't why I had it. The luck was not involved. It was just like I have an apex predator's paw on my neck. I wonder what happened to that. Anyway, I literally just now remembered that was the thing I had. Like I have not thought about that in 20 years. But yes, I do remember rabbit's feet. And 9 of them, they were pretty light, so I don't think 9 of them would make 7 pounds. And I don't think I think it would take more dandelions than that to reach 7 pounds. So I'm going to go with the first thing. Some absurd percentage of the world's largest marshmallow.
Mm. Final answer?
Yes.
Correct answer is 56 dandelions.
Darn it. 56 dandelions that weigh 7 pounds?
A dandelion plant is about 2 ounces.
That's... Okay. I believe you. I pick them out of my yard all the time. Maybe when it's still flowering and not turned into its bug's life form.
Maybe it's when it's laden with moisture.
Yeah, it's 2 ounces soaking wet. And it's July in Florida, so it's always soaking wet.
Mm-hmm. That's all I got.
All right, let's do some fast facts before we get to the major fact. Or general info. So the oceanic pufferfish is found all through tropical and subtropical oceans. Out in the open ocean is, like I said, pelagic. It's found at depths between 10 and 475 meters. It was originally from the Pacific, Atlantic, and the Sea of Japan, but now it covers the globe and has even been recently found in the Mediterranean, which is pretty closed off. It likes to eat squid, like I mentioned earlier, and that its face usually bears the scars from its battles, but it also eats crustaceans, other invertebrates, algae. It is kind of eats what it finds out there, or that it can eat. As a pufferfish, it has the titular ability to suck in water or air into its extremely elastic stomach to more than triple in volume. And this also pushes out those spines I was talking about, and that makes it a big ball of hurt. It goes from being an easy like snack to just the Death Star. And you can see animals that try to eat pufferfish that have inflated themselves, and their mouths can't even get over it, and they get poked with spines. And those spines aren't just for show. They aren't just for stabbing. They are for administering the highly toxic substance tetrodotoxin. Yes. Which goes along with its order and family names. Tetradoniformes and Tetradonidae. So this is part of the mucus that covers its skin. It's also infused into its skin. So not too many things can eat this and live. And
Including people,
that
right?
does not include people. People cannot eat this and live. A single oceanic pufferfish liver can apparently has enough toxin to kill 30 adult humans.
Wow.
That being said, the Japanese have found a way to eat it. Highly trained, licensed chefs with years of practice can prepare pufferfish flesh in a way that is consumable by humans. And in the wilds, the only real natural predator that a pufferfish has are certain kinds of sharks that seem to be immune to the toxin and have big enough mouths. So don't eat oceanic pufferfish meat. Probably should steer clear of pufferfish in general unless the chef who's preparing it knows what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I will leave it at that.
Okie dokie. I'm going to call this major fact spiky chomp, for lack of a more ingenious.
It sounds like a Mario villain, a Mario
It
enemy.
does. Chomp chomp. Bob bomb. Bob
Chain
bombs.
chomp.
Pufferfish are able to eat soft and hard-shelled creatures. You said they like jellyfish, right? Or no, squid, which are pretty soft animal. But they can also eat crabs, lobsters, and even clams. Human beings have a difficult time prying open a clamshell, let alone crunching one down. But they do it like it's popcorn. So how do they do this? So the first thing that helps in this endeavor is their mouth itself. So you mentioned this about their 4 teeth, but pufferfish don't have traditional fish teeth. Instead, they have something that is called a beak, but it's not like a beak that you'd find on a bird or even the kind of beak you'd find on a squid or on
Octopus.
on an octopus, maybe a little bit closer to the kind you might find on a parrotfish. It's a bony structure in their mouth that continuously grows to avoid wearing down, kind of like rabbit teeth. But it continuously grows to avoid just wearing down to a nub. But their weird monotooth or quad tooth, in this case, isn't the only thing that helps them chomp. Pufferfish have a surprisingly strong bite force. And thanks to their beak-like teeth that are fused together applied with this incredible force, they can just crunch right into shellfish, including mussels and clams like they're nothing. So the whole reason I wanted to do this is that I heard that it had a crazy bite force. And the numbers I found must be wrong. Because I did not find them on any super official source. They're like pet shop websites, forums, Reddit, stuff like that. And the other reason is because the number is so freaking high. I found the number 62,000 newtons, which
What's a crocodile?
Great question. The bite force of a Nile crocodile Nile crocodile is considered to be the top of animal bite forces, of living animals. And that is 16,000 newtons, or 37 psi. So,
Yeah,
that would put this
a
fish
quarter of it or whatever.
way higher. Yeah. Than the biggest bite force of all time, or living today. Now that could be mitigated. Maybe the bite force, like maybe it's an asterisk by its victory by it having a small mouth. So like,
But
I don't
it's
know enough
PSI,
about,
right? Maybe it's not like maybe it because it has fewer inches, it has fewer pounds.
So I found it was it's newtons per square meter, 62,000 newtons per square meter. A pufferfish's bite is not a square meter; it's like an inch.
Yeah.
So does that mitigate that at all? Like, is the math
Probably.
like, is the way we're measuring this not accurate to the animal itself? So technically, it is 62,000 newtons, but it's not. It's generating that. It's not actually generating that because it's not that big enough to generate that.
Yeah, if the pufferfish was 15 feet long, then it would be able to generate a
if
bite
its
force
mouth
that
was
big.
a meter wide, it could generate that. I don't
Or
know.
a square meter, so it doesn't have to be a meter.
Square meter.
No, yeah, it does have to be a meter wide and a meter deep to be a square meter.
Yeah,
huh?
so either that
3
or the
foot
numbers
mouth.
is wrong.
That's not a 15-foot fish. That's a 40-foot fish.
Yeah. So there's a big debate on, like, would you rather get bit by a piranha or a pufferfish? And people are saying pufferfish have a stronger bite force than a piranha. The thing about a piranha is not the bite force, though. It's the fact that there's many of them and they're sharp teeth.
Yeah, it's a
This is just a
laceration.
crunch. And as long as we're talking about dubious claims, there are also several reports of divers and fishermen having their fingers taken clean off by a pufferfish. I read one story about, but again,
Yeesh.
this is plausible. It's plausible to have a fish that's capable of crunching down on shellfish with ease. It's plausible that it would just take your finger off. Do not put your
much
finger
so.
in a pufferfish mouth. But I've also seen like pet owners saying they got bit by their pufferfish and it wasn't that bad. But these could be like smaller, like house aquarium pufferfish.
The oceanic pufferfish is 2 feet long, so
Yeah.
that's a big fish.
But there's one story about a guy who like was like doing a diving tour, and he was trying to lure a pufferfish out of a crevice to show the tour, and he was wiggling his finger intentionally, like
he's noodling?
prey. Noodling, yeah, like to get it to come out, and it just lunged forward, bit his finger. He pulled it away, looked at his finger, and was happy to see that because his gloved hand, he had a gloved hand, happy to see that the glove did not rip. But then when he took the glove off, his finger stayed inside the glove. And he had the telltale green smoke coming out of his hand and finger.
Oh, goodness gracious. He got gollumed.
Green because of the color. We talked about this a couple episodes ago.
When you're
red looks, yeah,
green down there, yeah. That is awful.
But and that they couldn't reattach it because it wasn't a clean cut. It was a crush. That's why it didn't break the. It didn't break the glove either. It just crushed it in the glove.
Ah.
But anyway, this was a
awful stuff.
This was an email sent to somebody in a diving forum. Who knows if this is real? But it's perfectly plausible. It could happen. So don't take it as take it with a grain of salt, but take it as a word of warning.
This is one of several reasons why you should avoid pufferfish. For one, that they have they have spikes full of super deadly toxin. So,
but one thing that is true, and you can watch it on video, is that a few fishermen reeled in a pufferfish and put an aluminum can in front of it for some reason, and it bit through the aluminum can like a stick of butter, like no problem, just chomped right through it.
Oh, I got to see that video.
And I saw another video where a fisherman is like, there's a pufferfish blown up, puffed up on the deck of their boat. And he's, for some reason, taunting it by poking it in the mouth. And it bites his finger. There's no aftermath in the video, so you don't know, like, what happened to the guy's finger, but it definitely looked like it hurt a lot. So imagine that. Yeah. You're on a boat. You're getting your finger bitten. You're freaking out, flailing around a poisonous, like, pincushion. Not good. Not good.
It's still stuck to your finger, wagging around this, like, death balloon, making it unsafe for everyone else on board. Yeah, just don't put your finger in a pufferfish's mouth is the moral of the story, I think.
Also, when I Googled this, the AI, like, chat help for your search help said, pufferfish do not bite. Thanks, AI.
That's true. I guess thanks Bard or Chat GPT or whatever. Like, I guess that's the truth.
Yeah.
No hallucinations here.
When people say, does it bite in terms of poison, they're thinking, does it have a poisonous bite? So maybe that's what it was trying to answer. It does not technically have a poisonous bite.
It seems like they do bite.
Yeah, they definitely do bite. But that's all I got.
All right. Well, you'd think that the major fact about a pufferfish would be the fact that it can blow itself up. But turns out it has a cootie catcher in its mouth that can rip your fingers off.
That can catch fingers instead.
Yeah, a finger catcher. That sounds like an Elden Ring thing if I've ever heard of it. So for you out there in Podcastia, stay toxic, inflate your ego, and take a bite out of grime like the pufferfish here in Life, Death, and Taxonomy.
Hey Taxonomy Titans, I just want to remind you that we now have a Patreon. Patrons can see full video episodes and get shoutouts on the show. But ultimately, it's a way for you to help us cover some costs and get even better. Still, reviews are the best way to help us grow. So if you haven't left one yet, we'd really love to hear from you. As always, thanks for listening and engaging.
Life, Death, and Taxonomy is my favorite in the world podcast.
Out of grime.
Puff the crime dog. Whatever.